everyone, Tom here, Battle Rap Resume, here with another preview, a huge old school weekender to close off this this horrible year, but this is a very promising event. This is Apex 2. It's going down in Manchester the 12th to the 13th of December. You know, it's a whole sort of UK domestic focus card. There's some crazy battles here. And, you know, we don't do as many previews, recaps, whatever on the show because, you know, obviously there aren't as many events or whatever. But, you know, I don't know. One of the reasons I like to do them, I suppose, is just to have people back on the, you know, a fan favourites, dare I say. Someone who I discovered in the trenches over there on Black Compass. I think you were debating Tay-Rock. Weren't you against Premier Battles? Was that?
Well, let's start this off. Right. I was in the mean streets that no one want to talk about.
Right.
Arguing with people I never met for no reason over battle rap. That was
on
literally
Discord,
it.
Yeah.
But you know, it was the show about Tay-Rock, and I got brought up because obviously I was still like trying to defend like Shotty and them. You know, a little bit of UK pride in that, and not letting all these Americans punch on it. But yeah, literally just from there, and at least I just made someone look foolish. It was a sacrifice. It was a sacrifice, and well, now I'm here. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. And you know, go check out the early episodes that we've gone through as well. But you know, general impressions. Did this card excite you or?
Right. Well, you know, okay. Now
it's UK versus UK. Is that needed? Yeah, is that like,
you know? If we were on about that, I think a UK versus UK card is probably needed. I think it's probably true that in regards to what we have, you know how the biggest thing that for us, and whether like, I'm going to this, but whether it's one of those things where it's like, we were reliant on Americans, and then I'll say this that most events I've gone for like the Americans, and at least have an event where it is like quite a big event, but forcing it to be UK versus UK, it might do wonders. However, I'm not sure this is it. Being totally honest.
Okay. And you know, we're going to go through these matchups as we always do, and we are live streaming this. So let us know in the comments. I mean, we haven't got the fucking Black Compass Discord army out here, but
yeah.
You know,
but that means like
Josh Owen, I see you. Like, yeah, exactly. There's no like.
Shout out to the guy in the chat, the one.
Yeah,
bam.
And yeah, guys, as always, subscribe to the channel at battlerapresume on Twitter. Patreon, of course, is there, and episodes like this will go on there first. And I've just launched a new series called Try Out Time Warp. It's kind of like me commentating on videos. I'll have to send you the link, Camera. I think I might have sent to you. But yeah, I watched like Sue Surf's.
I'll double check.
Yeah, I watched Sue Surf's first battle versus Torch, and like, you know, Pat Stay on Elements, and Soul versus Weedy, and you know, it's just kind of considering the evolution of the battler or whatever. So yeah. That's over there. Battleresume@gmail.com. Get in touch with us. But you know, I guess from the off, buy a ticket, please. Help support these leagues. You know, all the time, but especially you know, in this current climate. And I think, Cameron, that Premier Battles, they've sold quite a lot. Like the first batch has already went. The weekend, the tickets. People are hungry for this event. Like,
you know, we haven't had none. You know, I mean, being honest, like the last one was in Ireland. That's the last event we really had, and I think this.
Unless you went to Beast Anglia, unless you held up for the Beast Anglia kids, like, you needed that, like, you know.
Yeah. What was that? I think this does have a similar feel to the Apex of the last one. You know, where it was almost like, right, these guys have screwed us over for money. We need the culture to come back. Coronavirus has ruined the year. We need the culture to come back. It's got that same vibe to it.
Yeah.
To give its credit, that it definitely, for what it is in the situation, it is probably worthy of a name of Apex.
Jesus.
I'd personally say.
Yeah, no, that adversarial idea is yeah, I get what you're saying, and there was the team of Americans there before, but this is a I don't want to use the word pure, but you know what I mean. It's that sort of a thorough.
It's pure damage. I know you.
It's a thoroughbred. Yeah. So has the venue been announced? I think it was the other day, wasn't it?
No, I don't know.
I might have seen a post somewhere.
I don't think it has been yet. I'm looking at the flyer just now. It literally says the weekend, December 12th, Manchester, and with all them on it. It's not been quite announced yet, but it'll be announced soon. Like,
yeah.
But I think they got to wait and see what capacity they have first, because if they get another 100, because they're only doing the batches 100.
Oh, sorry. Day one is going to be at Rebellion on their Facebook
damn.
page. Yeah, so they did announce that about a week ago or so. So they're going to switch up Deansgate Locks venue. Yeah, first time for the battle rap as well in the venue. And
that's powerful. That's important. We need more venues to then accept it in the first place.
Yeah,
but this means we got to represent it. We got to be like, okay, nothing's going to happen. No one's going to pull up with something from Apex 1. No one is going to, you know what I mean? Nothing's going to happen. This is important. That's actually a very good point to mention that it's a new venue, because if we fuck up another venue, then we're limiting our abilities and where we can poop out our, you know, especially with the coronavirus.
Yeah. I mean, shout out Zombie Shack, but you know, certain places familiarity breeds contempt, like Concrete, for example. Like,
yeah, I never went to Concrete. I never had the pleasure of
I
spending
I got bodied in Concrete by freaks.
Is that where that happened?
That was where that happened. Yeah.
Oh, come on! It was your first time. You know, it was never going to. You lost your virginity. That's all it was. It was your battle rap virginity. You just had to keep going. Talk about get better. Come on now. No one does it great the first time. And if anyone did it great the first time, they're lying to you.
And check out Try Out Time Warp as well. We'll explore if people did do it great the first time. And, you know, if you do, O'Shea Too Easy, etc. So we're going to speak now about day one. We're going to start with the battles. Saturday, 12th of December, Rebellion. This is going down at. Johnny Darko versus Podge Dwyer. Some PB faves, I think, there.
Yeah, some Irish crime going on here. Now, I think with this battle in particular, this should be like Podge's redemption story. And I'm saying this, that I met quite a lot of these guys, but this is being with him the next day after the Dunch situation. Like I think he's needing something to boost him back up and really get him back through into battle rap. I mean, this is Podge to gain. It's going to be really hard to explain this. It's going to be for Podge to gain, but for Johnny to win. So, in my opinion, I think Johnny Darko is going to win. Mainly off what I've seen, recent performances, plus the time to prepare. I think Johnny has this, at least in the Irish crowd, and I think he had a good battle with Jay Short as well, didn't he?
Oh, yep. Yeah, on Premier Battles, yep.
I think with that battle as well, with Johnny Darko, he still has this...
Would this be better suited for like a Rap is Full Apex type event? Like, is it doing it a disservice to have it open the day, or...
You know, I mean, I'm assuming it's not opening today. I know it's bottom of the flyer, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, that
is bottom of the flyer.
Well, there's some heavy hitters on there, like when you got Shovel T and Soul up there, like.
Yeah, of course. But I can't imagine that being the first battle in the event. There's one battle I'd probably put as first in the event, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But I think for this one in particular, it probably is better outside of it. I know it's hard to say, like, Podge could be, it's not that he's not liked, but I think Johnny Darko is right now a favourite for Ireland no matter what. And I think a more neutral ground, where a lot of Irishmen are probably going to go to, let's be honest, is we want a more neutral crowd that's willing to accept from both ends. Personally, I mean, I prefer the style of Johnny Darko. That's just preference.
You saw Johnny, right, versus Red Flag?
Yeah.
What was it? What was that like?
Red Flag. That was pretty powerful. Like in the building, like even for what I really remember of the battle is the reactions that Johnny Darko was getting, off the whole crowd, and Red Flag's looking down at the ground, and he's not quite sure what to do. Because this isn't quite Raptor. This is something else going on. Like this is a more interactive crowd that is not reacting to you but to your opponent. And from what I remember, and I think I'd seen it outside. As soon as that battle was done, because what was going on in that whole event was that Lex Luthor was like, "Oh, whoever gets performance of the night, I'll fly him over." This is just before the corona, and Red Flag was instantly on the phone saying, Johnny Darko's your man. He's the man to take out. For someone like that to have a huge compliment like that is quite incredible to see. But it felt rough for Red Flag when Johnny Darko was on the stage.
I've got Podge winning. you know, I think the Dunch thing was a bit of a confusing watch. It was a bit sad to see, like, you know, he just didn't really connect. It just fell a little flat. But having seen him in Fiddlers versus Jay Short, and then I think the Terminal battle, you know, there's a lot of battles there that are just, you know, terrific, really. And I think, you know, he is a really good long form writer. Probably better with the crowd size as well. You know, from what I gather with the ticket sales, it's going to be, you know, brewing. Like, I remember at 5th birthday when I saw Furtz versus Bowski open the card, and, like, you know, it was just one of these wily battles that just sparked off. And maybe that'll happen here. I don't know. Is Podge the new Mr. 13? You heard it here first.
Ooh,
that's a compliment.
I like that.
That's a compliment.
But I like that though. I like that.
It's left field.
But that's the thing. Podge has got more 30s, doesn't he? Like, he's beaten more people. Kind of clear. Am I correct in saying that?
Domsky won. He sort of flattened.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Dom.
Oh, I love Dom. Had him on the show many times. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but
Podge bodied him. Yeah.
Yeah. that was no clear cut about that.
Right.
But I think that. Do you think Podge is going to deal better with a style like Johnny Darko has, or whose style fits the crowd better?
I think Podge, undeniably, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
Like, so we'll get to another battle. I keep wanting to jump battles because it's not a bad card, but
it's a good card. It's a really good card. I mean, I should say Big Tox vs. Tally, the next battle, has been cancelled. Apparently.
Yeah,
Tally's after another. Was that what you meant when you said be the first battle?
No. I meant Bison Briggs versus
O'Shea. Is that just because he's got to run the event? So you might as well get it out of the way.
Got to do this. So get it out of the way, and it sounds bad with O'Shea, and we'll notice this now for quite a lot, and I think it's actually a problem that might need to be addressed at some point.
Okay,
is that you see that O'Shea gets put the first battle on the card. Because a lot of leagues are known, okay, he's going to drink. And when you put him on later on, he does slur, he does...
Yeah, he battled Harry Baker early on at 6th birthday, like, yeah.
Yeah.
He does headline still, but, you know...
Yeah, but he's definitely...
Oh, yeah, like, he might Zayn Azrai himself, yeah.
Yeah, like, him versus Mata as well, really recently.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, and even him versus Canel was at the start of the event, so he was okay for that. But at the end of the event for Mata, like, he is flabbergasted, to say the least.
Him versus Danny Jax, like a palatable 4 p.m. Like, he's all right then. Like,
yeah, like he's just
daylight out. Like, yeah,
like there's definitely. I think that might need to be addressed at some point. The timing, you know, or maybe bring him later on in the event or something. Not like, I don't know, but that's something for me. But back to this Johnny versus Podge. With Johnny, I personally believe that this punching, the style that Johnny do, and even someone like Shocks, and even what Rivers and what Raptor attempts to do a lot of times, this punch style is probably going to hit. Because even at Apex 1, like Lazy Arse Jack was punching LSD, and it was popping all the time. And at least from my experiences there, it's just something that's quick to get instead of the longer angle schemes to end it with a punch from Podge. I think they might be just getting clocked a little too much before landing a haymaker. Personally, I would say, but it is definitely. I would say it's definitely worth being here in the UK versus in Ireland, where there might be a bit of a fairer chance. Being honest, but I mean, shout out to Podge, Johnny Darko 2-1, and I'm willing to take a bet on that. This is what I want to do. I want to start taking bets on some battles.
Yeah, a little bracket like Cortez had for Ultimate Madness. Like,
yeah.
Just get an Apex bracket going. So,
I'm out of that.
So yeah, comment in the live stream, comment down below about that. Tox vs Tally not going down. Just quickly on O'Shea versus Briggsy, which is a battle that I love. I think if you're going to have a UK versus UK card, then put on these dream matchups like Shuffle T Soul or, you know, like Briggs versus O'Shea, something that just naturally should have happened. Probably. Is
that a dream match?
I would say in just a sense of seeing these high-ranking chess pieces, you know, finally face off. Like there's some satisfaction in that, and I think Briggsy is a really good battler, despite the smack that I spoke a few years ago. And O'Shea, I think, rises to the occasion when he faces these, fellow mythic people. Like, we've seen him great against, like a Big J, he'll bring it, or, something like that. Like, just a respect, I suppose, to the scene. Ogmios may be a bad example, but, I just... I'm looking forward to seeing this. Like, I'm glad that Briggsy gets to have this as his final battle, so to speak. I know he's...
Oh, so it is.
Yeah. It's kind of for him, it's a dream, like, yeah.
I still want to see him versus Dre Dennis. I'm low-key tight that never happened. I felt that was...
Dre was battling anyone as well. Like, not that Briggs is anyone, but, like, the likelihood of it happening was high, like...
Yeah, I was like,
just that
what?
pass... Like,
you're
in Trap House, New York, 10 times a year, like... Calm down, like.
Low key. I would.
E. Farrell battled Dre Dennis. Remember when E. Farrell battled Dre Dennis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Right, what was it? What was it? Was it Lex and I'm the only white guy on Smack?
Yes.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Huge.
Oh, that was crazy. I love we just sidestepped that battle there slightly, and I do want to know. So. Your thoughts on it being a dream battle is just literally off of time spent being in the culture and never quite clashing?
I'm not saying it's like a soul Ogmius where I'm like, I've needed to see fucking Briggsy and O'Shea. Yeah. But for me, it's just like, these are two people that haven't battled. That it's not. I don't think there's going to be any exposing going on. I think it's going to be quite light-hearted. I hope so. A bit like the Koj battle. O'Shea's pretty good. Like Raptor battle as well. There are these people that he's just kind of respects and delivers. The Saurus battle, the Madness battle. Just looking forward to see that executed, I suppose.
So,
and
before we let that pass, who's winning?
Osh is the better battler. I think Osh will win.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. If it's early on, anything after 5 p.m., I give it a Briggsy. But I doubt they're going to do that.
Maybe he will. Maybe he'll just maneuver it.
It's a time thing. It's a time thing. Bless him.
They end up doing it outside. So,
Don't you mean outside? So he gets hit with it harder. Like, oxygen fucks someone up.
Raptor versus Rivers. Raptor's got this, maybe 3-0.
Oh, what?
Mm-hmm.
I remember you messaged me this, actually.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Raptor's incredible. Raptor is actually, like, such an unbelievable battler. I'm sorry. He can beat Rivers. He's beaten much harder opponents than Rivers.
Rivers, like, low-key beat Yunnan.
He didn't. I was there. He didn't beat Yunnan. No.
Yeah,
he had an unrelated Code Red.
Wink, wink.
But yeah, it was. I don't know. I think Raptor's deadly in these rooms with these crowds. You know.
I hope he is. And I said this to him. I thought he beat Shawnee Mack quite clearly in Ireland, but I don't know if it was quite the right approach for the battle. To be honest. I'm hoping, like, for how he was with him, I think Shawnee Mack was trying to joke, but he was kind of choking in that a bit. Raptor is trying to go at him. I'm hoping that with versus Rivers, he kind of takes that Shawnee Mack energy with Rivers, because Rivers isn't going to do what Shawnee Mack does. But I do got to give Rivers a lot of credit here, because he has held back for so long, and this is a return. Now, a lot of times, if it was other battlers, and it'd be like, oh yeah, this is the return. Let's say return of Sirius Jones or the return,
It's not really the return. It's been like a year and a bit. Like, it's not.
Has it not been 2018 or something? I thought it was premiere Battle Season 1.
Yeah, but I think it was Season 2 actually. But 2 years or so. Come on, man. That's not like a grand prodigal son.
To sit on something and itch, because he hasn't battled since, has he?
He was meant to battle on No Loose Chat, right? The event that got cancelled.
Yeah, it was Rivers versus Gemini, wasn't it?
Wasn't there some platform stuff as well? I seem to remember a lot of battles got cancelled, but
yeah, there was definitely a lot going on. Like, he's been booked. Well, think of it this way: he's booked for things and he's double clipped up. He's ready. He's ready. And this is and I say it as a return. With the Yunnan battle, for example, and even the ones after the Chris Lease one and everything. This is him kind of getting the feet. In the water, testing the waters, basically. This is him coming back. This is the whole bringing it everything, bring it everything, see how it goes. You've been playing about with it for months. Try it on Raptor. And the UK crowd, it isn't the US crowd. We're more forgiving. We're way more forgiving in life. And especially when someone stumbles or is coming back, we're way more forgiving than what other crowds will give it credit for. And I think with this, having the support almost from the crowd from the UK is going to help Raptor a lot. No, help Rivers a lot. But Raptor is a favourite. I can't say it's a 3-0, but I want to give it to Rivers. If I was a betting man, I'd put it on Raptor. But I would want Rivers to win. That's personally. It is a very close, but I can't say a 3-0. It's disrespectful.
I mean,
Tom.
I came out here, but the shock jock of battle rap out here. So
fucking right. But I mean, and actually, you're absolutely entitled in your opinion in the same way. Like, but I don't know.
It's boring to just always be like, a 2-1 minute. It's like, well, I've got two options here, really, 2 or 3. It's like, well,
I know. That's not the one to do on this battle. That's not the There's definitely
this is the beauty of predictions. People go, no one's going to listen back to this in a year, but if they're likely to be one of the one little bit of monetization that accrues, call me up on this. I was wrong, but I got Raptor Frio here.
What we should be doing one day is like if you really wanted to get like the replay value, we should do like an ASMR style. So when they play back, everything's all like whispering and it helps them sleep. They don't even have to listen to you. You hear the noises. Mate, it'd be easy. It'd be so easy.
All right, yeah. No, I thought you were going to say replaying our old sort of predictions and stuff. Maybe that in ASMR would yeah.
ASMR, I tell you, if they can call me up for anything, man. I'm like, yeah. Question.
Sorry, please. Query.
Question, and I think we were just about to go on to it. The UK title match.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it.
Why is that not the headline?
Because it's versus Matter.
Oh my god! Oh my god! So it's not Yunan's fault. You're like, because Matter's the problem.
Matter's not the problem, but I'm just. Cam, you remember last time when we were ragging on Matter versus Big Cannon, and we were right. It was just
we were right.
Forgetful battle, like.
Yeah, like this needs to be a 5-star top-notch thing, or.
Is this the first back-to-back title contention matches on different leagues? Surely, Yunnan from Kraft. I mean, that's a freak stat. That it must be like.
But I mean, it would have been a freak stat if he won.
True. I mean, he's a freak stat, but no, it didn't really. Sorry,
okay.
But
that's funny. That was funny. That was funny. He's a freak stat. Damn. Honestly, come back to battle rap, man. Come back.
Oh my god. So Matter versus Yunnan. Let's just take it as a match. We've never had it. I guess in a way, it's again kind of embodying that theme of UK versus UK. These clashes that should have happened and finally are. How are you seeing it? How are you seeing it play out?
I see this as Matter is not going to take any advice or anything that has been said to him from the prior battle or the battles before, because he has kept the same consistency. And it's worked for him a lot. But this is Yunnan. And this is a Yunnan that just come from a loss. This is a Yunnan that has literally a stick in his arse from someone crafty. Like, Martin needs to really think about what he's doing here. And he's had so long to have this. Because it was booked. It was booked for April. He's had months to think of this. If not, if it was probably organised in February, a couple of months to organise it.
For Anarchy, right? Anarchy was the cancelled event, sadly,
Yeah, he's had this for so long that he needs to have everything bang on perfect, and everything has to hit. Because as soon as the crowd goes, Yunnan, it's over. He's got the crown in the palm of his hands. And I'll doubt that he chokes. I'm going to doubt this. He might be the only way that Matter wins this.
Is it hard to trust Yunnan? Because he'll always go on a Twitter rant. Like, he'll always break your heart.
Maybe. when I
He'll
really
always
think about
choke.
it.
He'll always slip up. But you can't help but just, you know, I'm just such a fan, and I think he was fantastic in the craft battle. And, you know, you hope, again, I'm falling into these narrative crutches where it's like, oh, yeah, he's going to come back and, you know, he's on the bounce from whatever. But who knows? I don't know. This could be a really exciting battle, or we're just going to get something sardonic versus something monstrosity, you know?
Mate, you're not fooling anyone with this political. This could be exciting. You're not fooling anyone. Right
You know?
now. This could be an electric battle. I hope it is, but I doubt it.
Right.
I doubt, and you probably are right to say that Yunnan is kind of untrustworthy. I mean, there's the Crafty battle and also the Hades battle. Both of them chokes, stumbles, losses. That's what happens. I believe that he won't choke, but I mean, he go through life dramas every day, Yunnan.
Yeah.
Who knows what will happen that day that'll cause something to happen. But I'm going to stick with a 3-0 for Yunnan. And that's clearly off of being the better battler.
So it's disrespectful for me to say that for Raptor, but fine.
I'm giving a reason. Okay. You didn't even give a reason. You just went.
Well, I started with my point.
You slapped it in the ass and went, on you go. Like, that's it. Like, at least I'm understanding and I'm like checking the situation before I put a stamp on it and say 3-0. You know?
Okay.
I mean, I'm giving you the information first.
Okay, let's go. I want to hear it.
What's this?
I'm just saying I want to hear it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The information on why Yunnan is going to win.
Why is he going to 3-0 matter?
And you know what? And it's something so simple as vocal projection. That is literally the one vocal projection. That how Yunnan brings it back down and he brings it back up for the punch and the oscillation in his voice. That brings it in, takes it out to the crowd. Mata, from almost every battle, only brings his voice up when he's trying to have a joke about people who bring their voices up in battles. You're trying to, and I'm not aggressive if I want to be like you. Yeah. That's what he does. Yunnan actually does perform. And it's literally the simplest thing of, it's like Tay-Rock with the hat slams and actual sweating and putting in effort. Mata tries to make it look effortless to the point that there was no effort to be put in. Yunnan is at least putting it all, like, oh, it sounds corny to say, kind of putting it all on the line on the stage, walking off after. You know, like he did something. You know, and unfortunately with Mata, he just, unless the mic is really good, he needs to project more. And he needs to pause. He needs to relax. He needs to let the crowd hear what he's saying instead of firing through it and then just waiting for the laugh. If there was no crowd, I would debate that Mata might win if there was no crowd. But in the end, it's on the spot there. The crowd is probably the most important thing. Because the crowd manipulates the judges, and the judges then give the decision. Whether you understand, and being honest, at events, you never understand every single bar, but if the majority do and you don't, you know the bar is fire because the crowd get it. And Mata just doesn't. And I don't even think Mata puts much effort into the punches that he does. That when he's trying to do something, there's not, oh, he said this to equal to this. You know, like, nowadays the average battle rapper at this point in the world almost there's maybe 40 punchlines in a round. There's an angle that coincides all of these punches. There's reasons behind it. There's like performance pieces. There's rhyme patterns, and then there's different rhyme patterns, and then there's different rhyme patterns, and then there's just a total switch up. You know, there's so much that even body movements and muscle memory. There's so much that puts into a round that I think Mata does none of, and at least Yunnan ticks a lot more boxes. But his smallest thing, vocal projection, I think will be the reason that Yunnan would 3-0 Mata.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're
wow.
welcome.
I mean, yeah, you've really shamed me there in my Raptor response. So next battle is Shocks versus Quill. And of course, we've been looking forward to see a return battle from Shocks for a while now, who's supposed to be on Anarchy versus Joey Gambello. That obviously fell through. Now versing Quill, the penultimate battle on the card. a real meeting of the minds, a meeting of two favourites. Had Quill on the show recently. Always love to hear from that guy, and he's always such a captivating battler on stage. And Shocks can be Shocks, unfortunately he's let us down a few times recently on the bigger stages or platforms. And I don't want to cast any shade at Shocks talk, because everyone knows I'm a giant fan of his, and I just think he's a wonderful battler, one of the most memorable battlers that I've ever encountered, and affecting in terms of his performance. But Shocks versus Quill. I mean, is this a battle to decide a winner on, or just to kind of revel in this as an exhibition of just, real supreme thinking?
I think this battle is going to be the deciding on who's the best puncher in UK battle rap. I think this will probably end up being the battle of the whole event, and I'm saying that now. That's the stamp.
Damn.
Like, this literally has to be the battle of the event. If it's not, to me, it's a disappointment. If it's not the best thing going. This has all the potential, and it ticks every single box that a battle has to be. Literally, this is to me, this is main event. Like, this is the main event battle, Shocks the Rebel versus Quill. And there's a reason why that was the battle that was first announced. When this whole thing came around, that was the first battle. Because that's the one that sets the tone. That's the one when, okay, we got some big boys in this card. This is the one we go put out first. And no doubt that'll probably be the first battle that gets released. And I know Shocks had missed out. Well, think of this: he missed out on Joey Gumbel, and he missed out on A-Ward.
Oh, like, yes,
he meant to battle him at Apex 1 as well, and he's still coming off that Ilmac performance. That's the last we've seen of him. He hasn't had another battle since Ilmac, not that I'm aware of. And that still probably stings. I mean, he looked at me in my eyes and he apologized to me, and I'm like, mate, you did what you had to do. You know what I mean? Genuinely, he's
he's a gentleman. Kind of guy. Definitely is.
He really cares about what he does, and it was sad to see what happened there, because that had every potential to be an amazing battle, and the lines in it are actually pretty good.
Seize up and yeah,
and you know what? And the editing is pretty good. That's what I'll say. The editing is pretty good in that battle. Like, it is watchable. Wasn't watchable.
I mean,
it's watchable now.
Via Ilmac, I think a lot of the time.
Via Ilmac as well. Like, a lot of times. But that being said, as well, we also have Quill. This is literally two different styles. This is a higher scale of Johnny Darko versus Podge to me. Okay. It's a higher scale. This is like Johnny Darko the puncher, Shocks the puncher, and Podge, the kind of does everything else, Quill, who does everything else. And the longer schemes and stuff. But Quill is smart enough to be able to do everything that Shocks can do. And I think Shocks will try and attempt a lot of what Quill tries to do throughout the battle. And I'm going to say this now. I'm giving it Shocks 2-1. And I'm giving it Shocks 2-1 because he's on the ropes with Premier Battles right now. He's dubbed, well, no, he's not dubbed 2 battles. The whole A-Ward situation was not a good look. Calling out every battler on Twitter when it came to Chilla Jones, Ilmac obviously just battled him. Thesaurus, he was all these people, Danny Myers, Iron Solomon, he was atting them all on Twitter, and he was like rapping and saying, all you guys are scared, none of you guys want it passed as well, was in that, you're all scared. A-Ward comes down and he no-shows. He's still got that scar on him. And although Premier Battles is a league that is forgiven, I mean, Koji came back, he still has that on him. And as someone who actually actively came up to myself and hundreds of other people apologizing to his performance at the event, he still will have that in his mind. And that must be a burning fire that he's got this back. This is his opportunity. And Quill, performance of the night a few times. I believe Battle of the Night with Raptor.
I think so, yeah.
Is a villain as well, Quill vs. Villain? Am I right in saying that?
Rings a bell, yeah, probably.
Yeah, something like on Premier Battles and very consistent. He ain't going to slack either. To me, if there's anything that's a classic, this is a classic. I can only talk great things about this battle, and it had me very excited when they had this whole kind of fighter thing when the first one.
Yeah.
That had me very excited. As you know, I'm lying to you. Rivers and Raptor was the first one. Then it was Shocks vs. Raptor.
That's right.
My bad. Yeah, I just clicked that there. That was like, right, okay, we have an event here. This is looking good, and it had me very excited. But I will say this: 2-1 Shocks. Again, I might be punch biased. I think it's going to hit the crowd. I think it's going to go well. And Shocks is from... Is he from Manchester or is he from London?
He's from London, yeah.
From one... Okay, so he doesn't have the money bias. That puts things in perspective. No, I'm going to stick with it. 2-1. How about you, Tom? Who's winning? You can give the political speech, but who's winning? This is what we want. Who wins?
I think Quill will beat Shocks. I think Quill is slightly more versatile and mercurial, and you know, I still worship Shocks, but I think of Shocks' greatest performances like Soul or like the one rounder versus Raptor that are, like you say, just these incredible punch fests of really kind of layered material. You know, whole view of London changes when you take a shard in your eye, and you know, stuff like that. But
with this as well is, do we think we'll get the same Quill that we got versus Charlie Clips versus Shocks? Are we getting the same type, or will this be a different style?
I think, you know, Quill on the show, he was saying since the dark days of twisted Penny's cap and flipping that off, he's now more, you know, a calmer dude and someone who takes opportunities as he sees them. So I can foresee him delivering here.
You know what? I can envision that. All Quill has to do is kind of say a joke and then put his hands on his hips and look at the crowd, because that hits. Every time he just he makes a joke, puts his hands on his hips and looks at the crowd, and it's like, ha, that's funny. Ha ha ha! He puts his hands on his hips. Like, we are supposed to find it funny. Like, and that works a lot with Quill. I think I've seen that a lot more with the Bobby Rex battle in particular. That it was a joke and he just holds, pauses, and lets a laugh go. But I think the laughs he might waste time on when Shocks is just all the time. And it's gonna be an onslaught. But it's gonna be a great battle. That's my battle of the event.
And the headline on day one, you know, it's incredible to see Shuffle T in a headline battle. Obviously, Soul's my favourite battler. You know, astonishing to see him headline. Don't get me wrong, love this battle, but quite an unexpected pairing, no?
Yeah, I think you're probably Soul biased and I'm probably Scottish biased. I think for this battle here, I think Shuffle T is probably out of touch. He's going to be out of touch.
Jeez.
And what I mean by this being out of touch.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Is this, you see him now, he's promoting his book of this rhyming book.
He is.
And this is
his rhyming dictionary.
Buy
fantastic
it.
book. He sent me a proof of it years ago, and it's I'm sure it's improved ever since, but it's a wonderful tome. Yeah. So I wish I had it versus Briggsy. Sorry, I just wish I had it there.
He just started just rhyming things off and just waiting for the crowd reaction.
There needs to be a tryout that clearly just read Shuffle's dictionary and like has no bars of their own. Like
that'll be in the set. Watch this. Someone will listen to this, and it'll be the semi-final on the Premier Battles tournament that they're doing this year. And it'll be someone to put out the red Oxford and go, I can't wait for that. But I was saying about Shuffle. I think he's been doing all these other things. He's pally with Robbie Williams. He's he's kind of slightly out. I want to say he's slightly out of the element to deal with an aggression like Soul. I mean, Most Prob did quite a good job there, Soul, but that's an older Soul.
Oh, that was a great battle, but yeah, you're right.
It's a low-key sleeper battle. That's a very low. That's one of my favorite low-key. English
what Tim Hedman couldn't. Crazy.
Oh, you see, I wake up in the morning. I'm that Scot that make progressive movements like what Murray couldn't, what Hemmick couldn't, and made dumb plays remember for tennis instead of
shooting. Oh my!
That hits home.
So
that
good.
Hit home.
The pen influenced by telekinetic movements, like
just madness, absolute madness. Yeah. But if he comes in that energy, but what we can't do,
we need that Soul. We don't need the Arsenal Soul. We don't. Oh my god!
I still think he beat him. Arsenal,
I mean, he had that one Fire Festival line, like, but
yeah. I kind of like doing the like moving with the finger. I can't remember the fingers line about Naruto. You see me going. That's crazy. Like, and just
This is Naruto
like,
fanboy.
the fingers like Naruto or something. Like,
Right, yeah.
I still had that, but the last battle he had, because I like reflecting on the last battles. I think it puts in perspective more. It's Mad Flex.
That's right. Good battle. Yep. Good battle.
Was it a good battle?
I liked a lot of Soul's material, especially the end of his first, where he's kind of devaluing.
I thought you were about to say the end of the third. I thought you were about to say the end of the third, where I spot my bars anyway. Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can see past that.
Like,
but
that was nasty. And even then, with him and Shuffle T, I think Soul needs to come back. And a lot of these battles are redemption battles. I think that's at least the first day is all redemption battles. That there's someone that needs to come back. There's someone that needs to be here, and it's very well put because it gives them that energy, and it's probably what makes day one such a day one card, to be honest. But I think Shuffle T is probably going to be out of his element, and I think that this
is Soul just going to point out all his hypocrisies with.
I think so. I think it's going to be everything is just going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to just say it how it is.
He'll do some stuff about the multi-dictionary, which will...
Yeah,
oh
like...
God.
And you know what would be really petty if he points out things that don't work? You know how...
On page 43!
You know how in his accent. Yeah, like, see, if, you know, the multi-accent... Like, the problem with... I haven't read the book myself, but I think I've seen, like, a page or something. And,
Go support the book, by the way, I should say.
Yeah, please do. Please support the book, you know. Support our battles. I need to actually get that, because it'd be quite good to have.
How many battle rappers have books? Sorry, I don't think many.
But they probably, some probably do, but they all go on that rhyme zone. Let's not forget rhyme zone.
Battle Truth has a few books out, but that's Battle Truth.
Oh yeah, I might need to check it. Battle Truth's funny as hell. I love. He's just so funny.
Oh yeah.
He bangs the goblin, and the justice is your name. Bang, bang, bang. Love it.
Shuffle versus Soul.
Yeah, Shuffle versus Soul. With this, Shuffle is, I personally would say, is out of an element. That what Soul's going to do with his rhyming dictionary, it fits his accent. I've seen him do these rhyming challenges, and what he says and what I say, it doesn't match all the time. And that's one thing I hope that will get addressed, because that, to me, I'll be looking at this like, I think it was like missionary, dysentery, lips are many or something, but I was like, lips are many doesn't work without, like, you know what I mean? It was something in there that's not quite, that's what I want to hear from Soul. But Soul is going to bark on him. And I think unless Shuffle T is on this, what was that Daylight clone called?
What Daylight? Which one do you mean?
The Daylight clone when Shuffle T 30'd him. Like, he was telling me, he was like, God, what was it? And he kind of did like the fingers. It was on like old Don't Flop Battle. It was on the same card as Teenager vs. Ogmios.
Teenager vs. Ogmios?
Yeah, it was on the same card.
What, like, bullets? 100 bullets?
No, it wasn't bullets.
It wasn't, Oh, Anton Murphy.
Anton Murphy.
Yeah,
if he's on that time, Soul might be in trouble, but I don't think he's on that type.
No, probably not. But and they've already battled as well. I mean, admittedly in the 2-on-2 battle.
2-on-2? Was that not the compliments battle or something? Was that just
I think it was kind of... Actually, no, you're right. It was Rest Please Pete Cashmore as well. That was the event for Pete's sake. For Pete's Sake 2 has been postponed, unfortunately, due to current circumstances, but it will come back. So, pushing on then to day 2, Cam.
Wait, before we go, so are we agreeing that it's 3-0 Soul? Or I'm agreeing, I'm saying 3-0 Soul, personally.
That's tough.
But again,
tough. Yeah.
Like,
I want it to be 3-0 Soul. But...
yeah, I want confirmation bias. That's what I want, and I'm probably the same. I think Scotland needs a victory from England somehow. We don't get it from your football, so we need it somewhere else.
I want it to be full of malice, but it's probably going to be quite lighthearted.
Yeah. It's going to be those main
Marlowe's going to jump in, and I don't know.
Oh, if Marlowe jumps in, I'll boo. I'll probably boo. If it's bad, like, I will boo. Like, I'm not on that. Like,
don't boo Marlowe. Don't boo Marlowe.
What it is, I said this on the last show. I think that I loved Shuffle T versus Kid Twist. then Marlo and Nameless jumped in, and I just stopped watching the battle.
Yeah, that was
Like that one round, them two, it was fire.
You know,
And then all of a sudden,
the greatest mystery unsolved to me of battle rap, and I'm sure I can solve it with a quick Google image search. Blackout 5, right, where that battle went down, Shuffle versus Kid Twist. What did it look like from the seats? Like, I want to see a shot from the stage. I'm just because it just looks like there's such an unusually cool venue, like.
Like how is there like a full like widescreen of Hitman Holler punching that guy in the face? Like,
do you remember what he shouts? There's a battle rap trivia question. What does that guy say?
Oh, what? No, I don't know. What these?
I don't really remember. No, I need to look it up. I wondered if you may have known. Comment in the live stream what that guy said when he was battling Shotty. But yeah.
We don't double six or whatever. You know what I mean? He's like arms wide.
Yeah.
And then good night. Oh, was it because Arsenal pussed it, didn't he? Did Arsenal go for a kick and fall off the stage?
He did, yeah.
They landed the people's
elbows. That's the photos. It's like the Sydney Opera House in there or something to me. Like it's so cavernous. It looks great. But yeah,
right.
that's
day 2.
That's Shelby versus Soul. Day 2. Venue to be announced, still to be announced for this. This is the Sunday following, the Sunday the 13th of December. Again, guys, depending on when you listen to this, there will still be tickets available. Obviously, be a pay-per-view as well. So if you want to support Premier Battles, go check that out. So first up is the Academy 20 final, which this is our 3rd run of the Academy. You know, it's great to see graduates of the Academy fill, a lot of this card as we go through on day 2. Have you been keeping up much with the 20 final? Because I'm going to be honest with you, the GEE thing happened, and it kind of clouded everything else, really, and it's hard to work. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, because this I wanted to talk about this in particular, and spoiler alert, I'm white.
Right.
Spoiler alert, just in case you weren't quite sure. So if I'm saying something out of turn, it's only what we really, let's say I believe it's only really what I'm thinking of the situation, and it's not to be taken to heart. This Academy 20 has been, the live stream was an amazing idea. I really like that one-time watch, you're there, and then the battles come out later. I liked that idea, and it was just a show at the time, and it was a good sense of almost the live chat. It put a light on these battlers there and then, and a reason, okay, this is my Saturday night, or whatever night it'd be, this would be my night, battle rap, watch this. Great idea. And I think they should keep on doing that, personally. I really think they need to keep that.
Great idea.
Every round. And even if they throw a one-off, it's kind of that Ultimate Madness thing. They throw in a one-off maybe, but just have this going on, because it definitely, more eyes are seeing it, especially that it's free on YouTube. Boom, really great idea. Now, in regards to, let's say, the GEE situation, because I remember seeing Savant. Savant was very good, and it was like even Celesta. I didn't realize Celesta was Scottish. I did not realize that. Yeah. I was actually kind of happy to see like a Scottish accent that sounds similar to me up there doing what he was doing. Didn't even realize that beforehand. What with this GEE situation? What is our idea of battle rap? Like, I'll ask you that first, Tom.
Frontierless, I suppose. Like, I don't enjoy. Like, the reason I enjoy it isn't because of its uncensored nature, but that's just, the nature of it, I suppose. Of it, yeah, exactly.
It's par for the course. With battle rap here, and when I was younger, when I was 14, it was like 2010. Maybe 2009, maybe about that, right? And how I got into battle rap, it wasn't of that nature, but it was Kid Twist versus Dumbfounded, like that, like Professor Green, then Kid Twist versus Dumbfounded, and where it was a lot of these all kind of racist jokes, not to this extent. Let's say this, it's not. That isn't what it is. Like that, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have done it. Let's get that out in the clear. But when it comes to I've seen a lot of people with these really bad takes of censorship in battle rap, and I personally can't agree with that. Battle rap should never be censored in the end. You should be held consequence for your actions and what you say, but deal with it outside of the battle. There shouldn't be something that says, you can't say this to this person at the time. And it's tough to say that, and it's tough for someone like me to say that, someone that isn't in a circumstance that might be offended by a bar as such. But the nature of battle rap is insulting the opponent. If that's what he felt he needed to do to insult his opponent, that's what he felt he needed to do. But you can't blame a culture for the incidents of an individual that comes into this. And all these takes, like, all these things, a lot of tragedies, there's a lot of shock value bars. It comes with it. Jack Boy Main had the bar versus Big T about Kanye West's mum dying. Like, if slavery was a choice, so was your mother dying. Mm-hmm. And even Big J, and I've mentioned this before, dropping the N-word. Like, it's really crazy to see that. And even all the things with, even that battle with Uno Lavos about his daughter and all that.
Oh, yeah, the whole father thing.
Like, that's a minging battle to watch.
It is.
Anyway,
ugly.
But they decided to say that, and there must have been some sort of conversation they had that said, right, I'm doing this. This is how it's going to go. And to consequence a whole culture for what is, even at this point, is a very much a now situation that I hope we can clear for the future. It might take a wee while. We hope we can. But what is a very much a now situation to hold people in the past accountable for it is unfair for them guys. Now, because I see what they're trying to go back on old battles and go, this isn't the right thing to say. This isn't it. It's the old saying, like even ours said versus PH, at the time it was different. And battle rap being that as an insult thing comes with it. Now, with GEE, I don't like his rollout after the fact. Now, I don't know if you paid attention to this. With GEE, he had his Podge he put up on the forum, right? And it was like, it was a heartfelt, quote unquote heartfelt.
Sincere,
apology.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It seemed sincere.
Seemed, yeah.
You do a bit of research in it after. All of a sudden, there was a little mention of it on like a normal profile, and I hate searching through posts, but I got like screenshot and it's sent to me, and I didn't comment. It's not my place to comment, but I felt away. It came up on Vlad TV, and see what's going on. What's going on now, right? We're lucky that American battle rap hasn't got a hold of this entirely. Vlad had a look at it. We're lucky that these other, even our Black Compass medias, even our angry fans, Battle Truths, all these people, Piper Boys that haven't had a hold of this information yet. Because UK battle rap could be done after that. In the cancel culture,
oh yeah,
it could be done after that. That we might struggle after, because after something like that becomes so wide to the world, and the influence that battle rap has from the US onto us, it might stop everyone from coming. And this is what brought us on to Talks versus Tally. Talks literally cancelled the battle because of this. This is why he literally said, I'll battle Tally, but I'm not doing it on this league no more. Right? He's separated himself from Premier Battles. I was saying about Vlad TV, GEE is then, he's like, oh yeah, what did he say? I need a cut from Vlad TV. My price has gone up. I'm so you know what I mean? Like he's playing it off, and it doesn't show the same remorse that he did beforehand. And I will never tell anyone that he needs to be cancelled, but he needs held accountable for his actions. I don't want to see him battle again. Personally, I'm not going to be watching. That's all I can do as a person, And with this, but it brings up the issue of how far do we go with this? I said this from ages ago. There should be a disclaimer at the front of every single battle that the battle, what is said, doesn't represent the league, doesn't represent the battler. It's part of the sport. There's something that says this is just to insult them. If something is said that it does offend you, we're warning you now. Or even if it's a per round, you know what I mean? Because it just reinstates it a bit harder. And all these leagues, they need some sort of legal protection. They need this, because even with O'Shea getting the cancel from the charity event for the jokes he had versus my verse, and even Definition getting all his battles unlisted, and even Tink the Demon, who like in America
in the court, right? It was
in the courtroom. In the courtroom, they used the saga bars in the court. And all these things we get held accountable for. They need someone of a legal representation that can explain what battle rap is, because there's freedom of art form, but it isn't. Battle rap doesn't seem to be seen as an art form. What is battle rap then? And that's what brings it back to that question. I would say battle rap is an art form of dissing and an art form of rap melded into one. But when it comes to the situation, Premier Battles did the right thing. They did the right thing. They said, we don't like what he said, he'll need to go. And at least they did it respectfully. You know what I mean? They did it as a league. Briggsy and them might have their own opinions, but they did it as a league in the end. And they did it, probably, in my opinion, the best way they could. At least in my opinion. Because it represents the league, it represents what they... And let the people make their decisions. I'm not saying go out and get him. Please, it'll put a black eye on the culture if you bring light to this by getting him, or quote unquote. But if you feel like it's not right for him to do, just step away and not watch his battles. Just let him go. He'll go on his own. And then hopefully that leagues don't follow suit. This is a very complicated issue, and I really love a whole thing where it's probably not worth really listening to. And I have this conversation at events because I love the conversation about how far we take battle rap. Where's the freedom in it? What isn't allowed? How could something be manipulated in a way that it could be allowed? Where does it go? It's so tough because battle rap has no real rules and no real restrictions. But battle rap isn't battle rap. When it comes to rules and restrictions, you turn into MTV, you turn into Wild 'N Out, you turn into all these things. And it's really, to protect the culture, everything that was done right. And I'm only saying this now, obviously, as white people, we still are considered guests in the culture. And I can only speak off of a perspective of keeping the culture going. Everyone has their opinions and they're entitled to it. But in my mind, please don't take it out on the culture. Have your GWE bars. Have them in the culture. Diss him in the battles. But if something happened to him through a rap battle that he had ages ago, it'll tarnish our whole scene. Bring more people to see it. And in the end, just blow us all up. And it's probably a weird way to say that it'll blow us all up. But there's nothing else for it, is there? It's a mad thing, honestly. But I wanted that little minute just to explain in a way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Like you said at the start, it's just your view. That's it.
Yeah, at least it's my view, and everyone can have their view. What I think happened is someone that has followed a lot of different cases where battle rap affects what people say, and it'd be important that we keep what they say and who they are, almost the artist in the art. Keep the art separate from what the artist said, basically.
And, this is the Academy 20 final still. I mean, it's six months or so away. So it's hard for us really to even predict who's it going to be. We've not even got to the semi-finals or whatever at this point of the quarter. So is anything to say on that, or should we just move on to I Kid Deviant?
I would like to say Savant, I think, did really good on that there. Jester Black did good. I think he was hyped up. He's definitely an in the crowd battler. He did not come off that well on screen. I believe who did Savant battle again? It was someone's name, but they flipped it around. It was like Dilly Feet. I can't remember. He was actually pretty funny as well. Like Savant and him who battled, they were actually a pretty good battle, and I'd be glad to see him back after the situation. I think all in all, though, there was a lot of potential. If you get a chance to watch them when they get released, there was a lot of potential in these battlers. Whether they get through or not, a lot of them should deserve that next booking for somewhere else. A lot of them could make a dub scandal. Some of them could make a nil, like an opening for nil. They could really do that. And I was actually really impressed with a lot of the battlers there. So, shout out to them. I will say this, and just as a little ender on the GWE, I had a problem. I was in the comments in the live chat saying that was a terrible bar. Why did he do that? There wasn't the same energy on the comments. I'm being totally honest. Yeah. Maybe I'll let that be what that is. No one, maybe two other people mentioned that bar wasn't the right bar, and it just took in my opinion, certain people to say, hold on, and a lot of people saying, I heard so and so had a racist bar. Well, did you listen? Did you hear it? Quote it. It'd be good for you to quote it. At least so you know what's going on. Not that it was a bar, not that it was anything misconstrued, that it wasn't a racist bar, but narratives, what I'm saying. It was definitely a narrative switch once it came to light what was said. So the next battle! Yeah!
He descends from the soapbox. iKid versus Deviant. I mean, does iKid just have more of that X factor over Deviant at this point?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, and you know what? I think not that Deviant's been carried by Premier Battles. I won't say to that in particular.
No.
He's definitely had a few battles there, and he's got better. But he's getting better. But how long does it take before getting better do you become your best? How long does that take? You know, like, you get a lot of these guys, even like your Yunans, and maybe I'm probably terrible for trying to compare him to Yunnan. Let's say Maverick. For example, the bro. Like, how long did it take him to then say, okay, he's really here? How long did it take a lot of these guys? Well, even Free Will. How long did it really take for him to say, okay, he's here? And he was kind of like a class after Deviant. Deviant, it feels like he's coming up, but he's kind of like, what was that? Theo Walcott. He's on the way up, but then you realize he's been here for a while. In iKid is just way more experienced and can write. Like, I seen what he did to Uno Lavos. That was nasty work. And unless Deviant brings it up a level, I could see a 2-1 at least clean sweep for iKid. But not to say Deviant can't do it. Right now, 6 months away, I think this is for iKid to have.
Yeah, I agree. Not much to add, really. I'm a huge iKid fan. I think he's just a very sort of quite lethal attacker, really. Very smooth and captivating. And I like Deviant, and like you say, Deviant has been nurtured by this Premier Battles atmosphere, no doubt. He was on Nil, I believe, Nil 3, perhaps. But
maybe
something around that time. But I've got iKid taking that pretty cleanly, really. Bizzo Bond, as he's now known.
He's one of my favorite Loki.
He's so slept on. Like, his battle versus Sleepy G, he's extraordinary in that battle. Like, if you're just into that sort of writing that just at the end of each punch you just sort of think about what you've heard, just like, oh, that fits together so great. You know, it's a certain type. It's a bit like an AC/DC guitar solo. You know, it's just giving you what you need. And I just, you mentioned Free Will before, like, in that clash and Craze, like, Bizzo delivers, and I just love that he's still around, he's still battling.
Yeah, like, and this kind of resurgence, like, I'm all about it.
Biznaissance, like.
I think, what Bizzo is also great as well with Bizzo is that he's only. His style is still the same. Like, he will flip a name for, like, a round. And it's like, it just reminds me of what he did to Tali. Tali is talismanic, and the Taliban, and the Talia. Like, what he was doing, like, he hasn't changed enough. He's been away for so long and came back, and it was like he never left. Yeah. He still starred, but he had that problem prior. He had that problem, and that's something that you can kind of beat out, the pause. All that. Well, I'm such a child.
You're such a Black Compass fan, like.
Yeah, I'm still such a child, and I hear beat off and giggle. Right. But yeah, with Bizzo, he's getting there in the same way that, at least if Deviant wants to step back for like a year and a bit and come back again, I like my comebacks. If he is to come back, then it'd be okay. Is he improved? Let's see. This is what Bizzo's done. Prove that he's improved. And that's a shout out Milky. I think I still had him beating Milky. I mean, Milky deserved to win the final, but I think there's something in me that still I think Bizzo might have got you. But I think Bizzo kind of stumbled through a whole round, and that was enough. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Bizzo. I still have a lot of time for him.
Do you have him beating Sam Hypes?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm struggling to remember who Sam Hypes is.
I've got to say, I don't know. I recognise the name. I know he's in the academy, but hey, yeah.
But I mean, if he was in the academy, like, he's he hasn't been.
He's behind that He's behind that network paywall. Like, you know, it's hard.
He's behind the app. Is he behind the Premier Battles app?
He's app tier. He's app tier. So.
You know, and I hope he comes and improves. I hope he comes with something.
Yeah, it's a good.
I mean, there must be a reason why that was put together, and that's the one name I thought I'm gonna try and see if Tom knows that and help me out here.
I've got it. Yeah. Let us know in the chat about Sam Hypes or in the comments down below.
Yeah. But I'll easily make a statement and apologise if someone links me a good battle.
Yeah, he's got battles out there, but we're gonna move now onto the next battle, Cam. Danny Jack versus Sean O'Mac. Like, you know, two crowd favourites. Like, you know, Danny Jack, man, like, you know, I've got to give props to that guy. Like, he's very entertaining. The Canal battle I thought was fantastic. The Deep Throat Thug stuff. Like, Jay Dillon, where he battled outside. He had his Rugrats gun bars that I love. And
JPEG.
Yeah. I didn't like that battle. I gotta be honest.
What?
Yeah, I didn't.
We was gassing that. We was gassing that battle. Funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it back, obviously, but
yeah, just on the one rewatch. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. Like, I don't know.
Maybe it was because JPEG said his missus looked like that 3-headed dog from Harry Potter, and his wife was like, "Oh, we're gonna fight." He's like trying to square off with him, like behind Danny Jack. I was like, oh, like I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of that.
I don't know if that was even caught on cam, to be honest, Cam.
Was it not?
I think he said the bar. I remember that bar, but yeah, maybe I sort of had it on the background. She was like over there going, okay then. Let's go like arms wide, kind of looking like the guy. That's like Flossie syndrome, isn't it? It's like the girlfriend that doesn't understand that it's not real. Like,
well, you know what? I give her credit. She knows more than.
Oh yeah, no, I know she's yeah.
You know what Flossie knows? She definitely knows. She's definitely in tune.
Shout out to I wasn't denigrating that way, but it's just when you see it in so much battle rap all the time, like, you know, people catch your feelings in the crowd. But Danny Jack versus Sean O'Mac. I mean, Shauno undeniably, technically, is the more competent battler in this fashion, and he can just freewheel on these kind of multi-rainbow streams. You know, the Big J battle, for example, he's used to these larger crowds. But Danny Jack undeniably is the people's champ in a certain way. Like, you know, he just has that personality that he's
also the more interactive on social media.
He is. Is that going to be considered in this as yet named venue?
But it's relationship building.
As
you said before, UK battle rap is in a sense a forum in the end.
Yes.
And someone that has clout. It was kind of like that Eric Foreman thing, you know, when like, and that's the thing, I like Eric Foreman and that, but like, because when everyone was trying to gas him for some of the bars he was saying versus like in his GZs and things, it's the same thing with Danny Jack. It's that same type level of respect that, okay, when Danny Jack does good, he does good. When he doesn't, he doesn't, and they still try, you know what I mean? Like
that Eric Foreman Danny Jack, but that's inspired. That is just left field. I love it. But shout out to Eric Foreman as well. Like, you know,
shout out to him because he was important in the culture. I think him and Gwame are really important.
Yeah, they uploaded some of the first battles ever on YouTube.
Yeah, like I did not know. I was watching like on the Gwame's channel. Like, shout out Gwame the Champa of Ireland battling Hades.
Oh yeah, great battler. Battled Bobby Rex, and Bobby's rounds are cringy in that. Like, I gotta.
I haven't peeped that.
Bobby is too drunk, too aggressive. Like, the angle's fine. The who the fuck are you? No one knows who you are. You're Champ of Ireland, but I'm gonna beat you doing throwaways. But just that sort of, I don't know, that punchless sort of aggression. Is
smacking you with ham fists.
Yeah, like, you know, Word with the Yunnan battle where he literally fucking makes him a sandwich in that battle, like plops him on the ears, like, you know. So, just before we move on, Danny Jack, Sean O'Mac, what's the prediction?
I'm gonna say 2-1 Danny Jack because I think Danny Jack will bring enough to get the crowd going. I mean, I think still probably one of the funniest bars is I'll give your missus the B because I'm dyslexic. Yeah, it's still one of the funniest bars of last year. Being honest, that's still top quality.
I love the Danny Jack stuff against Canal. Like, you look like you woke up at an ATM at 8 a.m. or something, you know. And he's like,
yeah.
you look like you came back for a festival every weekend. Or he says something like that, and he just kind of.
Have you seen Canal recently?
He's got the afro, right?
Bob Ross thing going on, like.
Yeah, that. Fucking...
Did I say ting? I'm sorry for saying ting.
Hey, whatever.
He's got Bob Ross whole thing going on. I mean, good for him for having the Bob. It ages him. The Bob Ross look, he looks older. I don't know, maybe if he was older anyway, but that definitely ages him wearing that. But I mean, it suits him. But yeah, I just shout out to him. But
shout out to Canal. Yep, Canal. Interestingly, not on this card. You would have expected to see him in his ranks, but I mean, you know, you can't really read into that too much. Whatever, you know, there's a lot of battlers out there. There's not that many opportunities. It's quite scarce. So, pushing forward now, Jay Short versus Georgie Roots. Georgie Roots, fairly new name on the scene. I think he's had like 4 or 5 battles or something like that. Been on Don't Flop a little bit. Beast Angler mentioned before. But what are your impressions of this battler? I mean, you know, he's on the middle of this card. Like, you know, he's coming with a little bit of hype.
You know what it is? It shows what promotion can do.
Yeah.
It shows what actual promotion and pushing yourself into situations, what that can actually do. And taking your time, because he kind of been about as a fan, being about and just watching and analysing and seeing what happens and how things go. And this is someone who's taken their time. Little battles, doing what he can, and going for it. It's quite impressive he's up there versus Jay Short, but I think they're running out of battles for Jay Short at this point. Let's be honest, like, he's running out of battles, and I think they're just trying to give him battles just to keep him going. I watched him freestyle 2 rounds, apparent freestyle, 2 rounds, right up in Ireland, which, I mean, good for him. Debatably winning that battle as well. Was it intimidation? Something like that. Intimidation is like a big, like, you could almost say, and he probably gets this all the time. He's like some sort of like an Irish Love Island type. Like, he's like,
right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Tanned, jet black hair, and then but here's little Jay Short just freestyling and getting the crowd on his side. Like, it's the lack of effort is probably my problem with Jay Short as well. That although you can freestyle, it's like you've resorted to freestyling because either you don't remember your material or you don't feel like your material is good enough. You know, but maybe I feel like I'm being like Dots versus Sharon, where I should just accept the battle for what it is. You know,
well, that Dots versus Sharon, that
was nasty.
I mean, that was a body.
Dots should have expected that to come. Like, with Sharon, you should expect.
It's like the worst thing. The worst thing about that battle is like where Dots is like, "Yo, did you freestyle all your verses?" But the problem is, Sharon's freestyles are way better than his writtens. Like, his schemes about maple syrup and British Columbia and fucking his like, come on, Dots.
Like,
back to this battle. I mean, you know, Jay Short is an established vet. You know, he's really went toe to toe with so many people, and he's such, you know, really just a journeyman, an extraordinary freestyler. Georgie is promising. I watched the Beast Anglia one. I watched the battle on versus Frost as well, and you know, some great writing, some great presence from Georgie. I really like his style. I think he is a really promising battler, and it's awesome that he's facing off against someone experienced as Jay Short, someone that, you know, I think, you know, he'll develop from, and someone, Jay Short always brings a fun battle as well. Think about the Real Deal battle, the Frankie battle. You know, Georgie I need to get more acquainted with, I've got to be honest, in terms of his battling. But from what I've seen, I'm hopeful for this one. Yeah,
like, you know, with Georgie Roots as well, it's the fact he can sit there and battle. But he's a skinny boy.
Yeah.
With a ponytail, no, 2 ponytails.
I think even remember Frost said that Frost is like, you look like one of my uncle's friends, and it's like he does, he does have that sort of aesthetic.
Yeah, he's like the crazy uncle brings his pal over, and he's like monged on the couch in the corner.
He kind of looks like one of the crew from Dead Man's Shoes. I don't know if you've seen Shane Meadows' film, but he looks like one of those sort of layup. Like,
you might need to send me a screenshot on that.
Okay.
Send me that after this.
Hook you up with that.
If you're editing, I don't know, but send me a screenshot of that, because I think I know what you're on about, and that's funny as anything. Right. If it's what I think.
All right. But you know, this battle then, how are you calling it? Roots versus Short.
This might just be. It won't be a spanking if J Short comes with it. But this is definitely something for Georgie to learn. Like the extra things that come with being a battler. That I'm assuming day one's on a stage and day two's in a pit. Now Georgie is used to the pits, but it's a different energy when someone like J Short could just look at the sky and go, I can make a punchline out of that and actually hit you with it like in a way that's succinct and smooth. I think Georgie Roots will learn from this. If J Short comes with it, 3-0, J Shorts.
Yep.
J Shorts.
J Shorts. Eat my J Shorts. Yeah.
I like shorts, but I hope that like Georgie learns from this as well. That maybe he's trying to throw rocks at the sun just now, and he could have. There's plenty of other people. I mean, he could have took a Podge, quite clearly. And I know Johnny already battled J Short, but he.
Oh no, Podge and J Short have battled, yeah.
Podge and I thought Johnny and J Short, because Johnny choked versus J Short.
No, they've battled. Yeah, sorry, J Short's battled both of them. Yeah, he's battled Podge.
Yeah, J Short's battled both. Like, but I mean, Georgie Roots could take. Oh,
I see. Yeah. Yeah, I think. Jay's, again, the word comes up, trustworthy. Like, I think Jay can just conjure something a bit more interesting, and he is more established. Like, Jay Short's been killing it since people were weirdly saying he was a Lunar Sea clone, which I never fucking heard.
Yeah,
like, I always thought that was such a weird criticism that if you compare the two, they're nothing alike. He used punchlines about mum's fannies. Everyone did in 2012. Like,
yeah. It's not to really talk about what I was on about that big spiel before, but that's part of it as well. Like that, all these mum jokes and that, like you can't accept it. Not that you can't accept it, but you can't hold that accountable because that's what happened back then. Right. Everyone was doing it. That's all it was. I'll leave that there. I think J Short pretty much just because I remember them comments being thrown around. He literally just changed his whole style into this sort of like emo. Cool guy, you know what I mean? Like I think that was just before he kind of got the big beard, the tattoos, all the extra things that came with it. Yeah. Like you look like that. Them comments. It feels like them comments changed him after that. Right, but I mean, I don't want to put that on that way.
No, that's funny though. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm not like Lunar Sea. Puts the ink to his like.
No,
I'm not Lunar Sea.
No, the thing is, I'm not Lunar Sea, but I think he has a moon underneath his eye. Like that is.
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
Is that the lunar shadow? I don't know. Let's move on to Visual versus LSD. Now here we're having the the victor of the first Academy series versus the runner-up of the second Visual. This is LSD versus Visual. Yeah. I have to say, Cam, I always say this as a disclaimer whenever I talk about Visual. Visual mentioned Mastermind in his first ever battle. He had a bar that mentioned Mastermind, studying the game like Mastermind. For that, he can never lose a battle. 3-0 Visual.
Oh, okay. Now, I can only imagine this battle is happening because Milky ain't battling no more.
Right.
Like this should have been, and how high it is in the card next to.
True, it should have been Milky LSD, yeah.
Yeah, like it should have been, but Milky's said he can't actually partake in battle rap, but he can do all the other things. Very similar to me. I can't really partake in it, but I can do all these sort of things,
Yeah.
And with this Visual, now Visual's come off a very great performance in Ireland. Very, very, very Carney. I might have come out, it might not have. Very powerful performance, and it was probably the clearest 3-0 of the whole event. I don't think that's going to be enough for an LSD, especially this is in Manchester where LSD does get the love, and it's kind of rough to say. Now again, this doesn't really attest to LSD's character, but there's a few battlers that have come out, and congratulations, all that to coming out and being brave enough to come out. I salute to that. Powerful and even it's engaging in some more honesty, because I mean that's maybe one thing that a lot of people hide behind the image of battle rap, that there's a certain way to be. It's great that you want to come out. The UK battle rap will not accept Visual trying to hit them with these bisexual jokes.
No.
Yeah, they're not going to accept it, and it's just how it is. is very UK in general is very caring in that regard. That they're way more accepting than what almost every other country is at this point. That
I think he would get booed. I think he would get booed if he came with that angle.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, because in my head, it's almost like if visual was to come with it, you like go with the gun bars and like I don't.
It would be audacious
in your mouth.
to do. Yeah,
you'll be used to that. Like,
yeah.
you know, that's the way he needs to go. Just the subtle digs. But if he goes, you're bye, that's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Like,
visual.
But especially in Manchester, and I'm not to assume that visual is going to do that.
He won't. He's too smart for that.
He won't. He's too smart for that. But it's as like a preliminary, or if that's what it was, a prerequisite. Sure. Don't hit him with that. Just leave that be.
No, it's an interesting thing to consider, but yeah.
Yeah, like it's because it'll definitely come up and like, oh, you came out so and so, and I don't know, be a night. There's ways about it, but if we still consider his last performance in the UK, he still hasn't quite beat that yet. His last performance being the Milky one, where he really was not awful, just there was no interaction. Like that, 3 rounds where it's almost crickets. That's what visual what he did with Milky in London, which is a shame. London isn't the best crowd. It's a tough crowd to get reaction off of. It's just how it is with London. It's going to be tough for him. He might get a bit more reaction with Manchester, but you're going into another man's hometown and someone that even though Lazy Arse pretty much beat him clear.
Oh, a clean victory, yeah. But
in the venue, that felt close. In the venue, that felt very, very close because of what Ellis Dean provides.
Dean didn't diversify his angles there. To be honest, he was too much on that part.
Football bars and everything.
Yeah, and on the posh hype but I've got to be honest. You know, I mentioned Mastermind before, and the main reason for that is just to say that I think it's very cool that a battler did that. But I do think that Dean will win quite clearly. I actually prefer visual, and I think he's a terrific writer. And the Carney battle that we saw, and you know him just coming up, and the Milky thing was more of a crowd issue, and that's not the. But I just think Dean, even though I still have Major winning at the All-Star Game 1, I think Dean was phenomenal in that battle. Really, really good. And we saw he was put through the gauntlet slightly, wasn't he, on his second season of Premier Battles? The Matter battle was a bit confusing and stuff like that, and things didn't quite land.
I still think he beat Matter. The material was
it was an ugly battle. I don't think it was. I don't think it quite hit. But
if you read that on a transcript and you just you would give it to LS Dean, being honest, like what he's trying to say and the punchlines to come with it. I had to give him credit on that. That I like watching it back, and I think part of it was also that he's trying to find his style at that time, and it sounds weird. It's the first time he came into a battle bald.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't expect that, and that's quite visually like, holy shit! You went from the longest hair ever, and you just come bald with a mustache. Like that's in like 3 months. Like that's quite striking. And it might not be. And the little things like that affect battle rap. The little things affect the battler. The little things like that affect what you're trying to say. And low key, I was like, is that still LS Dean? I'm not sure, but for him, I still had him winning that Matter battle, and even for the battles he's had, like I think was it Matter and then Lazy Arse, or was it? I believe there was one in between.
There was something in between. Was it Briggsy? Or am I thinking of something else?
Oh, Briggsy happened with Talks and Bobby Rex.
Yeah. Oh no, he battled fucking Koj, didn't he?
Yes. No, like Koj was really recently. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is how it went, from what I'm aware. Matter, then it was Briggs, then it was then it was Lazy Arse. Lazy Arse. That's just funny to say that. I think he was meant to have a All-Star 2 battle, but that never came through. And then it was the Briggs battle, and then it was what we've got here now. And that's, to be honest, it's a fair gauntlet for a new battler. Not a new battler, but like who's found himself and had to go through a fair streak of people. That's quite tough.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that, like, even in this battle, this is probably the first battle Ellis Dean had where he's the veteran. He's the one above. out of all the names we've mentioned, he was always the one punching up the way. Now he punched down. And maybe he'll do this better. Maybe he'll find himself in a better fruit that he gets to punch down on someone than having to, like, I'm fighting for my respect. You know, because that's never an angle that really works.
No, you're right. Yeah, no, this is a good look for LSD, I suppose, just in that kind of superiority position. And I am excited to see this go down. And it's not like Visual's untested in these sort of waters. Like, you know, he was great versus Carney, and that was a forgiving room, but that's not to say that his material wasn't great. What do you say, like, you were on fire in Australia, everything fucking is, or something? Which is a little bit of a zeitgeisty bar.
On fire in Australia, but everything's on fire anyway.
Yeah.
And, I was losing my rag at that.
Spilling
a pint of Guinness everywhere.
I mean, I've got LSD in 2-1. What about you?
Yeah, me too, mate. Me too.
Okay.
That's 2-1. But that's just like what, not a veteran, but what is to be a veteran, talking down to someone that's still on the up.
And you know, Bobby versus Hades follows. Again, Hades especially being lauded for recent performances versus Yunnan, and he was signed to Sharks. You know, he was one of Shotty's guys, it seemed, for a little time. Bobby on beat is a genius.
Bobby on beat's incredible.
Possibly the best UK battler ever on beat, I'd say. Like, for me, just his...
I'm fair enough to say that.
His conversation... Okay, like, I know there's people like, I don't know, a natural or dialect or whatever that just kind of ride that beat incredible, but Bobby's kind of conversational, musical, playful, you know, inflective style, I just cannot get enough of. I mean, I'm saying this not even thinking that this is an on-beat battle, but I just want to say, like, you know,
set this up. We'll give him his praises first, before, like, give him the flowers before we
then we're gonna knock him down. But you know, I just want to get that across, really, that I'm such an acolyte of Bobby. But him versus Hades, how are you seeing this a cappella playing out?
Now, just to make mention on the beat real quick before we're going about the a cappella. I never really videoed anything in Ireland. I was too drunk to video things, but the only things I really videoed and put on like Snapchat was Bobby's rounds versus Roby, because there was something special. So I gotta give him his credit. Like, I'm Scottish and I'm still like, England is in the building and I'm leaving with an Irish, but I'm still on that energy, even though I'm like the total opposite. Right? That being said, off beat, he still needs to prove himself. We still have that Yunnan stain. He's not had a battle since Yunnan offbeat, has he?
I don't think
so. From what I'm aware of, I don't think so either. And that's still going to sting. Like, as when he goes up on that stage, you're like, what's Bobby going to do? Because I think people was kind of thinking that as well prior to what happened in February. Now, mind you, I think Bobby does what Hades does a little better when he's on one. But I think Hades' level of consistency and kind of the battles he's taken on recently, I think he might be able to captivate the crowd better. Be off of, okay, we know what he's coming with. Bobby can do it, but if Bobby doesn't do it, okay, this is what's going to happen next. I always say, where's Acre?
Good question.
That's a random thing.
Good question.
I just thought, because like Hades versus Acre happened, and Acre like kind of...
It did. That was a big battle for both of them.
That was a growing battle for Hades. That was something to learn off of, and he has definitely...
Well, I mean, like, D-Mac absolutely bodied Hades, weirdly enough.
Oh, was that not on nil?
That was on nil too, yeah.
2. Oh, I think I'd seen a glimpse of that.
Gruesome.
I won't mention D-Mac. Let's leave that.
Let's not. Yeah. Well, let's not get into that.
Let's mention that. I mean, at least they hear that. Okay, we're aware of it, but we've made the conscious decision just to dip that conversation.
And you mentioned Bobby Rex before, just one on his verse tracker. So we had the Yunnan battle, and then we had the Roby battle. And there has been another battle, although it is obviously a Corona video battle.
Quarantine thing.
Yeah, versus Craig Maben on Smoked Out Battles. It's got 99 views. It was uploaded about 2 months ago. I need to watch this after we finish recording. But Bobby's in a red hoodie. He raps for like 3 minutes. I'm just watching it on mute now. Takes his sunglasses towards the end, but he looks like he's bringing it. So emergency broadcast apparently is in brackets.
But that's that sort of thing where you turn off the mute, and If you turn off the sound, and if they look like they're wigging, they're probably all wigging. Like you can see it on their body and everything. It's that's funny. That's funny though. This is this weird Canada, this off KOTD Canada and UK kind of
French
allegiance
speaking,
that's happened.
Yeah,
like, even like Joey Gambello and other people are like, oh yeah, I want to come over. And I mean, shout out Copacetic, but even him as well. And I'm like, like, is this a weird alliance that's happening? And I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Well, it's because ultimately King of the Dot and Don't Flop, DNA wise, are so similar.
Yeah. So they're trying to find the next kind of pairing.
It's that kind of inoffensive white league that just kind of likes battle rap.
That is crazy when you put it down, like inoffensive white league.
Look, we've got Fork Farm or whatever, but word to those old school King of the Dot battlers. But
shout out to that.
Shout out to So that's Bobby Rex versus Hades. Predictions for that one?
Predictions. You know what? Off good faith, I'm going to go with Bobby Rex. And this sounds, I know what you're thinking. Going, the Yunnan and all this beforehand. I know you're thinking that. I can hear the conversation.
Bobby's the bigger talent, like.
Yeah, and I hope that, and this is Bobby. You might be listening, you might not be. One thing I know battlers do, and I say Bill Collector, for example, is they write their bars on a beat anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I might have said this to him in an Irish bar when it was like me, him, Thesaurus, and a few others. Maybe he needs to write all his bars on beat and let the cadence of what he's saying carry him towards what he's trying to say. And I maybe, and this is, if I was him, I'd be thinking of that as well, because the build-up might come with it as well, that we're all hearing for the build-up and knowing when you're hitting it, instead of our battle rap mind where it's just 4 bars here, 3 bars there, a 2, you know what I mean, and a 5 bar where it's 4 bars and the punch comes after. More construct ways of writing might be better for Bobby. But I'm saying this because this is purely the same way that I had Yunnan beating Matter of vocal projection. I might even say the aesthetic of Hades versus Bobby Rex. And almost the way that Bobby versus Yunnan could have gone, that Bobby being that much taller, doing his whole lift his shoulders up, reach his neck forward and talking to Hades, that he did kind of trying to do with Yunnan, might work with a Hades who's trying to act cool, but it's quite small. It's such a weird thing that the height could determine a battle, but in the end it's how it looks to the crowd, and how it looks to us affects everything, how they say, or what they say and how they say it, and where the projection points are. It's such a small thing, but literally off height, because they're very similar. One's more consistent, and the other one is better when they're on. But I think the aesthetic of how it looks, you could give it, for me, Bobby Rex 2-1.
Yeah.
Slap that one on your dinner.
Yeah, I want Bobby to win, because Bobby just has that elusive spark of genius about him that is just, it's always kept me as a fan of the guy. And, I know I've said some harsh things in the past, but
it has to be said, you know what I mean?
We went in on that Yunnan battle, if you want to go back and listen to that.
there's no bias, you know what I mean?
It's just, it's just a
nobody
sport.
is safe from the jokes. Anyone that listens, any battlers that listen, and nobody's safe from these jokes. They come and they go. It's all in good fun. It's all in jest. We still appreciate the battles, what they do, but no, battle rap is battle rap, and you are subject to jokes.
Yeah, and so we get to the final clash now, the headline clash. I love that this is the headliner.
This is the one that got you. Oh yeah, we need to do a preview. This is why you made this one last.
This is, Major versus Frankie. I know this is a battle that Major's wanted forever. Major Concerns and Frankie Fraser, 2 battlers that I'm huge fans of. They're kind of, they are just like the enigmatic pen battler, the obsessed, cultural reference battler kind of thing that, I know we both are, certainly myself. And they're just 2 people that reward close reading and have came up through the ranks and have had so many great battles separately. You know, you think of Major, you think of the guy who his debut battle was versus Bombshell. And this is on the Academy. And what does he say? Like, if you put an ear to shell, it's supposed to make a wavy sound or some shit. Like, you know, he was just this guy who went to 5th birthday with his dad. I've met his dad, by the way, at the Academy. Great guy, yeah. We chopped up. Loves BRR. And they went to 5th birthday, you know, when Major was like 13, 14 or something. Amazing. And he's just a mega fan who's became this incredible battler. And I always had him beating Elistine in the Academy final. And then the terminal battle happened. Chiller as well, where basically fucking Chiller Jones. And, you know, probably beat him, like, you know, and the same for Frankie. Frankie's battling Bender and Dialect, you know, and this is just this really, you know, I mentioned before Briggsy O'Shea dream matchup, quote unquote. Frankie versus Major, this has got me fucking drooling, like.
Yeah, this is the one. The show does Major Concerns have the bollocks to hang about with the other battlers. This is his. It's not a legacy battle because that's still to come. This is the ladder battle. This is, okay, we can put him with all these other veterans now after this one. You give him the one round with Chilla Jones, test the waters. This is the one. Are you diving in or are you drowning? With Frankie is very good. I don't know if he's had all the best battles, though. I think there's definitely a few battles that I've definitely not peaked because of almost the same thing, projection. All this that he has, I've definitely, like, the early ones, I definitely peeped, like Bender and Shock's battles, but the early ones, I try to watch, but the projection's off. But, again, another but with the but beforehand. Pause again.
Right, lots of buts, yeah.
This is, for Major Concerns, this is almost a mirror match, you could say.
Yeah, I think Major looks up to Frankie hell of a lot.
Like, this could have been, like, if they did like a UK rookie versus veterans, this could have been co-main event. Really, because this is a style clash if we've ever seen one, or at least a similar style clash. There's two types of terms for style clash, really, but this is, if anything that we've seen, something where it shows who's a puncher, who gets the winner between Shocks and Quill next.
Yeah.
Am I bold enough to say that? I think I am. Who gets the winner between Shocks? Whoever wins this.
Well, I mean, we've seen.
Quill, Frankie's already battled.
I was going to say Frankie's battled Shocks. Yeah, I don't think he's battled Quill.
That's it. Yeah, Is he not battled Quill?
I don't think so.
That's an interesting one too.
That is, yeah.
But if that comes around, Quill versus Frankie, and then Major Concerns versus Shocks, I would not be mad at that.
Oh,
that would be a great little 2-card there.
That's great for the next. Yeah, that's great for the Gem versus Shotty card. Like,
oh, that'd be so good. That would add everything to it. Briggsy, you listening? Yeah, you. Yeah, I know you listening. Yeah, that's 2 for you. You're welcome.
So I mean, yeah, this is again, I want to just reiterate the fact that I just think it's magnificent, really, that a battle like this has been put there. The guy who was a runner-up in the Academy, and, you know, Frankie, another guy who's just been climbing steadily through the ranks, one of the most respected, writers in the UK scene, undoubtedly. Like, he was a de facto ghost writer. You know, the fact that in the C Major and Cracker versus Marlowe and Shuffle title match, they accuse each other of using Frankie to write bars for the other person. Like, you know, he was just the name. Like, he was the name drop back then.
He was the top guy.
Yeah.
He was smart enough. He wasn't quite sat in the. He wasn't quite. He was stood not quite by Shuffle T and Marlowe, but he was enough that he was kind of part of it.
Right.
It was a smart place because, like, Shuffle T and Marlowe can point behind them. He wrote your bars, but Cracker can almost be like, I'm exposing because the guy behind you wrote your bars. It was well placed. That was just
lest we forget as well, Frankie in the Psychosis Holocaust, Diz and Yunnan fracas.
Oh yeah, come caped up, ready for all action. That was great.
That was great. I love that. So so that brings us to the end of Apex 2. I want to
hold on. Wait, it almost does. We haven't given winners yet.
Oh, excuse me. Major 2-1.
You tried Major 2-1?
Yeah,
I have to agree.
2-1.
I was going to try and like fake you into being shocked, but I think I probably got biased. I think my favorite out of all of them. I mean, I want like the Amy Winehouse bar that Frankie had versus Bender is probably one of my favorite bars as well. But I think it's such a I can't remember. I think it was like Major Concerns with Bentner, and it was like what was it? I caught Stevie slipping, and now it's looking bad for your team. Like with like the reference being that when Steven Gerrard, like his last game, decked it. That's a special bar to me because I like thinking of that. It's one of my favorite personally. But for that, and plus I can say that he has been tested enough that he's a young blood with more energy. I mean, Frankie's got Tony D next month apparently. On a Black Lives Matter.
That's right. Danny Jack organised it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't add too much to it, but I mean, this is Major Concerns from now, at least now, from before, thinking of Frankie. Frankie has to take on Tony D first, and still has a little less time. And if they are similar, one's going up and one's nearing the end of what he's doing, one has more time to then develop the best punches and edit whatever he's written, and the other one still has to go, I might need to keep this for Tony D. This is what's going. I divvy up what he has. I'm assuming that he's kind of preparing for both casually, but still, you've got to give Tony D the best ones, and then hope that you make great bars after from Major Concern. So on that note, I would also say Major 2-1 as well.
So yeah, that brings us to the end then of Apex 2, the preview at least. This is going down Saturday the 12th, Sunday the 13th of December 2020 at the end of this year. We're recording this in middle of July, so you got a lot of time to get your tickets. I know a lot of the batches have sold out, the pay-per-view, all that stuff. Cam, I guess finally, what about yourself? Is there anything you'd like to promote? How can people get in contact with you?
I tell you, Tom, I'm only here, mate. I'm only here. If anyone's something to say, like either if they come in the live chat or I'm on Facebook, you'll find me. Like I'm Cameron Gray. Like I've learned my name's there. I'm on UK Power Forum. I'm not anyone special. Tom just likes me on, and I'm Black Compass Discord. I'm just a fan. I'm not planning really no big rollout. Maybe in the future. You need to just blog a little more, man. You need to just do little. Maybe I need to have something, but like I need. If I'm doing that, I'm probably dead pernickety, and I'd have to cut out the and the and the.
Oh, okay,
like,
I see.
You know, I mean, maybe one day I will, but I'm nothing special. I'm nothing really to promote myself. I actually wanted just one thing. I won't really mention too much of the card because it was a bit disappointing with the Gnome card that happened. What's your thoughts on Daylight's rounds? Did you watch it?
I didn't see it. I missed it, unfortunately. But I've heard the recap. I've heard the New Era recap and the Black Company. Yeah.
I tell you, if you go into like I'm App Gang, so I'll get it at some point. But if you go into them, you know them streets, gang, you know what I'm saying. Get a chance to watch them rounds. Incredible. It set a whole new standard, and to a point that Lux isn't beating that. Like, and I'm putting that on it. Lux isn't beating that. But I just thought I'd throw that out there.
No, we'll get you back on, man, in the future.
Of course, soon. It's always a pleasure being here. Always a pleasure.
People go back, like Cameron, as you've heard, is a particularly loquacious guest, which is why I like having him on. So go back and check out our previews and recaps, all the other Premier Battle stuff. We've went hard in the paint for that. And check out all the times we have Black Compass on the show as well. Tony Bro and I'll be on there soon as well. Patreon is there, iTunes is there, Twitter at battlerapresume, battlerapresume@gmail.com if you want to come on the show and do a top 10 countdown. Like, I'm thinking of prepping an episode soon where I'll look at like 10 celebrities that tried to battle rap and what happened and what the outcomes and what the battles were like. So
there's a fair few stinkers.
There's a lot. So
spoiler alert. Stinkers.
And I want to do an in-depth history of Eminem in battle rap. So not 8 Mile, but before he was signed, on the Scribble.
Yeah, the actual world championship.
The actual battles and like rewatch them.
Fire.
And, something like that. So if you guys want to come on and discuss stuff like that, if you got any ideas, battlerapresume@gmail.com. Check out Cameron on the other episodes, as I said before. Go support Premier Battles, support them on all the social media platforms. Shout out to all the battlers as well that I criticised. Nothing but love deep down. We're just doing this for the odd lol out there. So
everyone's got the opinions. Everyone's got the opinions.
Exactly. Go support the pay-per-view. Buy a ticket if you haven't already. Cameron, thanks again.
No worries, man. Everyone there, if you have a problem with something I've said, I'm at the events, pull up. I'm all about the conversation. It's happening.